The early 20th century was a time of great change and uncertainty. The world was rapidly industrializing, and new technologies like the automobile and the airplane were transforming the way people lived and worked. But beneath this veneer of progress, tensions were brewing. The great powers of Europe, Great Britain, France, Germany, Austria, Hungary, and Russia were locked in a dangerous arms race, each nation striving to build the most powerful military on the continent. At the same time, a powerful wave of nationalism was sweeping across Europe. People were becoming increasingly proud of their national identities and were eager to see their countries assert themselves on the world stage. This surge in nationalism made it more difficult for nations to resolve their differences peacefully. The world was like a powder keg waiting for a spark to set it off. The early 20th century was also the age of empires. Great Britain, with its vast colonial holdings, stood as the world's dominant power. France, not far behind, controlled a sprawling empire in Africa and Southeast Asia. Germany, newly unified and eager to assert its power, sought to expand its own colonial possessions, leading to increased rivalry with Great Britain and France. Austria-Hungary, a sprawling multi-ethnic empire in Central Europe, struggled to maintain unity amidst rising nationalist sentiments within its borders. Russia, a vast and powerful nation, lagged behind its European counterparts in industrialization, but possessed a formidable military and a desire to expand its influence in Eastern Europe. These competing imperial ambitions created a complex web of alliances and rivalries that set the stage for global conflict. In an attempt to maintain peace and stability, the great powers of Europe formed a complex web of alliances. Germany, fearing encirclement by its rivals, formed the Triple Alliance with Austria-Hungary and Italy. This alliance was meant to deter other powers from attacking any of its members. In response, France, fearful of German aggression, formed the Triple Entente with Russia and Great Britain. These alliances, intended to prevent war, ironically made the situation in Europe even more dangerous. Each country was obligated to defend its allies in the event of an attack, which meant that a relatively minor incident could quickly escalate into a major conflict involving all the great powers of Europe. Section 4, the powder keg, nationalism and the Balkans. The Balkans, a volatile region in southeastern Europe, became known as the powder keg of Europe. This region was home to a mix of ethnicities and religions, and it had long been a source of tension between the great powers. Austria-Hungary's annexation of Bosnia and Herzegovina in 1908 inflamed Serbian nationalists who viewed the territory as part of their rightful homeland. Secret societies like the Black Hand emerged, committed to using violence to achieve Serbian unification. The stage was set for a confrontation that would have far-reaching consequences. Section 5. The spark ignites, the assassination and the road to war. On June 28, 1914, Archduke Franz Ferdinand, heir to the Austro-Hungarian throne, and his wife Sophie were assassinated in Sarajevo, Bosnia, by Gavrilo Princip, a young Serbian nationalist. The assassination sent shockwaves through Europe. Austria-Hungary, determined to crush Serbian nationalism, issued a harsh ultimatum to Serbia. Germany, bound by its treaty obligations, pledged its unwavering support to Austria-Hungary. Serbia, backed by Russia, mobilized its army. The delicate balance of power in Europe collapsed. On July 28, 1914, Austria-Hungary declared war on Serbia, and within days the great powers of Europe were at war, marking the beginning of the First World War. The world watched in horror as the lights went out on a continent. What had begun as a regional conflict in the Balkans had escalated into a global conflagration, the likes of which the world had never seen. The assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand was more than just the murder of an heir to the throne. It was the spark that ignited the powder keg of European tensions, plunging the world into the abyss of World War I.